don't go to therapist. I don't feel the need to go to therapist because I've undergone the labs, personal labs and all those things. But going to a single therapist and sitting with him or her has not happened. I don't think at this age it will happen. Anyhow, let us say Mahalakshmi may influence me and I may come and sit with her in course of time.
It will be my privilege, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So why do therapists hesitate? Now, sir is being very candid. I really appreciate him. He's so humble and candid here. But then we all know we have colleagues, right? We work with so many people in all these years. And we all know, yes, therapists do hesitate. Why do you think therapists hesitate? Why do therapists hesitate?
I think it's the fear of being judged by your own colleagues.
Absolutely. Fear of being judged is very, very high. And that does happen, right? Oh, you needed therapy? This is a question that many times they ask, right? Fear of being judged is definitely there. And from the therapist point of view, who's preventing himself or herself to go, the feeling that, oh, maybe I am being in the vulnerable state, the belief that I should not be vulnerable. Again, what else are the reasons? What else can be the reasons why therapists hesitate?
Self-therapy?
Self-therapy, no. Even if you're doing self-therapy, here the question, non-acceptance, yes. Question on professional expertise, think maybe I can solve by myself, yes. So, self-therapy, fine, but we are talking about why not seeking therapy. See, the reason why I chose this topic was, I don't know, Manjula, if you were there in the first session, we discussed that one of the objectives of our group, this Deccan group, would be to provide support and therapy to one another. So if we have to set the ball running, not rolling, if we all have to run along with the ball, we all need to be open to that. That is the reason why I chose this topic today. So why are we hesitant to ask each other? See, I should be able to, pull out the button and say, hey, Manjula, you know what, today I'm having this some kind of an insecurity here. So can you help me with this therapy? Shall we just sit down together for 45 minutes? We should be having that kind of a state. I'm not saying when I'm talking about therapy, I'm not saying that, you will need therapy for 20 sessions. You come to me, Zen ma'am, you will need therapy for 10 sessions. That's not what I'm talking about. You know what, today has been a very long day and I'm totally stressed out. I do not know how I'm going to function. Ma'am, can you help me for 30 minutes? Okay, then probably ma'am would give me a small relaxation. Ma'am would talk about something about time management. And that is what I mean by therapy, right? The reason why I chose this topic today was to understand, to set the ball rolling so that we all get into that groove and start working and functioning towards, connecting with one another for therapy. Fear of losing potential in front of colleague. Very true. Yeah, these are the things. So again, I put all of them under one heading called vulnerability. I don't want to feel vulnerable. I don't want to be perceived as a vulnerable person. Right? Now, but then we forget that every one of our colleagues are also in the same mental health space. Ideally, we all need to, we need to set up a practice. We need to stand as a practice model, ideal model, by we seeking therapy. And that is not enough. I think many of us also are having this inhibition of seeking therapy because if my client knows I'm seeking therapy,
he will run away.
What happens? Because I have seen this. We also have these judgments about, especially when I used to be in school counseling. I'm sure many of you who are in school counseling also may have come across this. Suppose some very, very bright student, a topper of the class, is seen in the counseling room or seeking permission to go to the counseling room. I've seen this. The principal or the teacher will ask, "Are tumko chahiye kya as counseling? You need counseling? As a baat aa gaya kya?" That means you have decided कि इनको चाहिए, इनको नहीं चाहिए, इनको जरूरत हो सकता है, वो दूसरे को I'm sorry, I went into Hindi. I hope everybody understands Hindi.
Yes, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay.
I have the same experience, ma'am, in this school.
Yeah. So the thing is, we also as therapists, we hesitate to go in for therapy to one another because we feel we might fall low in the eyes of our clients if they come to know.
Ma'am, one more point I have is,
had it been in the curriculum itself, like BSc psychology or MSc psychology or MPhil, that as a counselor or a therapist has to go for a therapy session, then that awareness would have come. Like all this myth and all this doubts would have been gone away.
Clear, correct.
But that awareness itself is not there. That is why, like, this is the first session where I'm seeing that you're talking about therapist, the necessity for the therapist to go for a therapy session. So had it been part of the curriculum, yes, then the awareness would have come.
Right. Like as sir said, okay, just to start off with the first sharing, as sir said, he himself knows I did one session at 5 o'clock and now I'm doing the second session. And for your information, presently I'm going through therapy.
Oh. Now you mean in this interactive session is a therapy?
No. I am taking therapy from somebody.
Okay. I thought this interactive session itself will act as therapy also sometimes.
No. See, the objective of this, as I said, was to help us to start getting our objectives of this group into motion, and we can start functioning from there. So this is what and so what all I put down as the points for therapists hesitating. Of course, the taboo does affect us. How do I tell my family? My family will be the first person to say, "Arey, you are a psychologist, you need therapy." So
yeah, ma'am, and one more hazards is there for psychologists also. This is my personal experience. Whenever I scold when my daughter was little one, whenever I scolded her or sometimes beating and all, my father used to say, "Oh, what type of psychologist you are? तुम क्या करती हो उधर? क्या वो एक बच्ची को नहीं संभाल पाती हो? मारना और ये psychology कुछ नहीं है, psychologist छोड़ दो ये." So that thing also actually associated and accumulated with our sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, all these become our baggages. I remember, like, when I used to have problems with my in-laws, my parents used to say the same thing. You have studied psychology and you can't handle relationships. So we are human. And first, we also need to acknowledge and recognize we are human. There are things that we can do. There are things we cannot do. There are things we can do with help. Here, with help means I'm talking about with the help of a therapist. Right? The second thing I have put down as a point is mindset. That is what all of you have been discussing. The third thing is, which I already mentioned, is vulnerability. Now, these are the areas, the reasons why therapists hesitate. So today, generally in many of these sessions, my habit is to always give one assignment. Most of us are together already in that group, right? I would suggest each one of us can reflect and think which of what is the reason that I hesitate to go in for therapy? What is the reason I hesitate to go in for therapy? I'm just putting it on the chat box so that everyone can read it. Please reflect on what is the reason for me to hesitate to approach a therapist for myself. This is a point for reflection. If I were to seek therapy, what is the area I wish to work on? I have put down 2 points for reflection. Are we ready to look at these 2 points? Are we ready to work on this? And are we ready to start connecting on all of these areas? Anything else? If there are no other points or for discussion, I would like to end the session with a small meditation, if you are all up for it.
You mean to say you're not going to ask for the responses from the participants?
No.
You want us to reflect?
Yeah. What I meant was, I put these 2 questions here.
I've seen that.
Yeah. And I'm requesting you all to reflect.
Correct. Then,
And I said, if there are no further questions, then I'm going to take you through the meditation.
but you said the end of the session. After that, meditation session ends.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought, okay, go ahead. I thought I can listen to you for another 1 hour.
No, thank you, sir. I'm so humbled.
No, you are wonderful. I'm telling you, very rarely I see such a bouncing spirit and a wonderful smile.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to meet you. I don't know when.
No, we are in Hyderabad. We can definitely meet. We are planning an offline meeting, right?
Swananda is trying her best. Let us see how it works out.
I'm up for it.
Good.
Please.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great. You are great.
So, anyone would like to talk about this, or would you be dropping the responses in the group? How would you like to go ahead with the 2 reflective questions?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
First of all, please excuse me. I joined little late. I don't know if the point is already covered. But my question is, how do I know that I need a therapy?
Oh, we didn't cover that topic. Thank you very much for this question. How do I know that I need therapy? So one thing is, since we are all in the field, we all know that there are times when we are feeling as though we are not able to handle everything. We are feeling stressed out about certain things. So that is the time you would know that you need another interventionist support. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, ma'am. But for me, what was happening? Yeah, it is happening like earlier, I'm not able to handle all the things. But I was under impression that because it was I'm lacking something, vitamin deficiency, or kind of that I'm not having that much stamina. I was under that impression. I never had this insight like I should visit a therapist. I don't know.
But you are a therapist yourself, right?
I am not, ma'am. I am not.
Acha, you're not a therapist. So the thing is, that is unfortunate. See, you know what? In our society, even the doctors do not easily recommend or refer the people having issues to a therapist. But I was quite lucky. Even as early as 1998, I was carrying my second child, and in the 7th month, I was going through anxiety. My gynecologist then referred me and suggested me to go to a psychologist, which was so unheard of. But that way, it was in a small town of Coimbatore, which is very rare. I was lucky that way. But even today, I see many pediatricians, they still do not send an ADHD child for an assessment to a clinical psychologist. This is the state. So that is the reason why, if you're a non-professional, you need to be more aware. There's no harm. See, even if you're feeling a little disturbed, what is the harm in just taking an appointment with a psychologist? And if you do not have any issues, then the psychologist is going to tell you, you don't need to come back for sessions. That is all that's going to happen. She cannot drag you into therapy just like that if you don't have problems, right? So we need to be able to look at it in that way. That is the point I'm trying to make. Just like how you might want to go to a general practitioner just to make sure that this cold is nothing serious, it's not sinusitis, it's not leading to pneumonia. You can just go to a psychologist to see that everything is fine with you. And if there's not much to worry about, then the psychologist is going to say you don't need sessions.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. This was different angle, and it's really helpful to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, I have one point. You meant small town of Coimbatore.
I offended him. He's from Coimbatore.
No, because that might be some 20 years old, 20 years back, 98 something. But now I'm speaking from a big city of Coimbatore. It has grown so vast, and it is unimaginable growth.
I visited Coimbatore even last month.
Oh. But compared to Hyderabad, it is less. Muthu, I have visited Coimbatore. I stayed there. Coimbatore is still less than Hyderabad.
That is there, sir. But what happened is
not a small town.
No, there is a war of 2 cities here.
Only thing is the development which say is basically destruction of the nature has happened. phenomenally, and we have got developed. Like we are a developed city now.
Every city it happens. Every city.
Leaving that apart, even in Coimbatore, like with so many colleges, educational institutions, it's like more of an educational institution of a hub of second educational hub of Tamil Nadu. But here also, finding a good psychologist or therapist is very difficult. It's difficult. Like who really practice. Even I go to PhD hospitals. When I speak to the doctor, I went to a psychiatrist. I requested him, please refer me to a psychologist. No, he says no. We'll see.
Muthu, I will let you know. Muthu, there is Nisha Lohia.
I can give you a phone number too of a psychologist.
I couldn't get ma'am.
I can I can share a number of a psychologist in Coimbatore.
Oh, I'll be glad, ma'am. It is very useful because I myself go visit many times. Like I have lots of problems, and many of my relatives, etc. I'm not able to refer to like one place called as I forgot the name. It's a very famous place only near PhD hospitals, but they are more of psychiatrists and like more of a psychiatric like medication rather than counseling.
But we are looking for therapy. Absolutely. Yes. So yeah, the reason why I shared that I went in for therapy as early as 1998 is again to set an example that we need to be safe here to share about ourselves here.
Correct.
And that is how this space needs to be sacred. Of course, confidentiality goes without saying. And we need to be completely, and right now also I shared saying that I'm taking therapy even now. So that is not a lie. That is a fact. That is the truth. We need to feel completely safe and comfortable and be happy about the space. And we need not feel vulnerable just because we are in the space as someone receiving therapy too. That is the reason why I shared both these examples with you all. Right? If there are no other questions or any other inputs,
sorry to interrupt. Yes. I'm attending both of your sessions. One question out of the context here. Like I'm from native of Namakkal. For the past almost 4 or 5 years, I'm searching for a psychologist. I'm not able to find out.
In Namakkal,
it's a big town. It's a big town.
I know.
And through the internet, etc., or went to the hospitals, I'm not able to find out. So if that is level, and it's a big town in that area. So you can imagine the condition in the remote villages, etc. Its awareness is very, very raw.
Absolutely. See, that is the reason why even when we started this group, I was saying that we need to look forward to registering it, bringing some kind of a registration means it becomes an authentic association. Unless we have these kind of authentic associations, we will not be able to have a better structure. And a very solid structure is very important for us to move ahead as a team of professionals. And for that, we all need to join hands.
Yes. One more doubt. There are so many colleges having BSc psychology, MSc psychology, MPhil, etc. But if I don't find them when I go to the hospitals, or I don't find when I search in the internet or in any villages, small towns. But there are so many graduates, so many people get educated in psychology, but where do they go?
So I do get students for internship. Even during this pandemic, I have had a student taking online internship from me. And there was another girl from IGNOU who took an internship course with me. So they do come in, but I don't have an answer for your question.
Because many study and then they just leave it there. They are not able to pursue. Maybe there is no encouragement. There is
Absolutely. And then this kind of field training is also missing. The field training is very important.
Just graduation alone won't help.
Yes.
Correct. So thank you, ma'am. It was a wonderful session.
Shall we end it with a small meditation if you are all up for it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam. Go ahead.
Let's close our eyes. This will also be based on self-healing. Let's close our eyes. Inhale and exhale slowly and comfortably. Relax yourself completely. Relax. 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 Relax yourself comfortably and completely. just be aware of your breathing. Imagine that the inhibitions, your limiting beliefs are binding you like a rope, like a twine. With every exhalation, each of these ropes and these twines fall off. You are bound by inhibitions, limiting beliefs, fears, fear of being judged, insecurities, what will people say, beliefs. And with every exhalation, each one of the rope or the twines fall off. With every inhalation, you breathe in courage, you breathe in self-awareness, you breathe in resilience, perseverance. And with every exhalation, each one of the rope, the threads fall off, freeing you, enabling you to experience your whole self. And once all the ropes and twines fall off, take a deep breath and slowly open your eyes when you think you're ready. Please do not hurry up. Take your own time. I hope this session would help us all to, build the courage, the resilience, to touch base with one another, to be able to heal ourselves, seek therapy from one another, which would help us to rejuvenate. And I hope this session has been useful to you all. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Why doubt about it, madam? No self-doubt should be there for a therapist. In a lighter vein.
Thank you so much, sir.
It is a great session, great session.
Thank you.
Good session.
Acha, let me just check that up.
Yeah, I did not ask the question yet, but my simple question was, we know that like family, then money, this things come and matter, but still we don't go for therapy, like normal people also. So what is the main cause, like you feel?
The main cause is the taboo, right? We think therapy means is for pagal.
But now we are even learning psychology, like now it is clear in my mind that okay, this is taboo. Still, I don't go. Like
Oh,
when there's
That
burnout,
is
I will, listen music and calm myself down, and
so. Then
things get
suppose
back to work.
that is what your client tells you. I won't come to you, ma'am, after you become a therapist and you're certified. The client tells, "I'll listen to music, ma'am. I won't come to you."
Yes, ma'am. So why we are not again going then?
So the reasons, as I suggested, one is the taboo. Second is the fear of being judged, the mindset that I don't need it. So that is a kind of a superiority complex.
self delusion.
Yes, limiting
Now,
beliefs, self delusion.
as Dinkar sir said, this webinar. Sometimes, yeah, like listening to webinars, I feel good, and then I leave the thing.
See, that is the feel good factor. Can just it is just a very superficial thing. If you need a transformation from inside, you definitely need a therapist to help you. Therapist or a coach or whatever name you want to give.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. That is why this group will help. That is where this group will come and help. We need to hold hands for each other.
Thank you so much, Mahalakshmi ma'am. It's
Thank you.
very full of wisdom, and every time when I listen your session, whether in here or as earlier at 5 p.m., always I get wisdom points.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you so
much.
much. Thank you so much. It's really
Ma'am, I
humbling.
have one small observation regarding the previous session. Like I'm taking liberty to address here. Like when the daily intimation comes, instead of saying CSA, if you say child full form, the people like me who are from non-psychological background will be benefited. Like in my case, at least I immediately, knowing that your session will be wonderful, I went through the net, found out what is CSA, then I found, okay, it's a good topic. So many
Right.
people who are in need of this may not be aware of this, the full form of CSA from non-psychological background.
Agreed. Sunanda, you can pass that information to whoever's making the posters, na? In the other group. Yeah, that's a point I take. It's a very important point.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so we can. Thank
Ma'am,
you, guys.
hi, I'm Bin Lakshmi from Bangalore. I'm also a counselor come therapist. I think you should just, share your thoughts on how, one's bodily energy changes when you are, burnout occurs in yourself, and when you can be aware of it, and you need to say, okay, stop, I need this break,
Hmm,
or I need this therapy. So I
absolutely.
think if you talk about that more, maybe all the therapists will be like, will be more, aware about their bodily changes as well as psychological changes in their emotions as well, ma'am.
So one of us can take this as the next topic. Sunanda,
Yeah,
please note it down. Thank you,
and
Lakshmi.
how we can put boundaries on ourselves to protect our energies and our
Yes,
time,
yes.
and how
So,
slowly we just go into the counsel's mode.
yes, yes. Very well, important point. We can, one of us can take this as a topic for the next session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, Ms. Mahalakshmi, thank you for the very wonderful and interactive session. We had no PPT, and that's the quality of an effective trainer. Okay, without a PPT, you can get a crowd to engage and question and create this cognitive dissonance in us. Okay, I enjoyed listening to different perspectives. Also, it is good to have this diverse opinion. Now, as therapists, like you rightly pointed out, we are not immune, we are not superhuman beings, and we are all flawed people. So we have to accept that we also have blind spots, and I think somewhere that self-awareness, like I think the last person who spoke, Lakshmi, awareness is very important. And if we are aware of our own blind spots, our strengths, we can help somebody else. And I felt somewhere like going to a therapist, can give us objective perspective which somebody close to us cannot give, right?
Absolutely. Very well put.
So yeah, so I think somewhere we have to become open to receiving therapy, because it could be a big problem, it can be a bigger crisis or a smaller issue also, because life is challenging on a day-to-day basis. And as therapists, when we are sitting with our clients, our energy goes out. When you're healing somebody, it's not easy. Some people say you're just talking, but you're not talking, because at the end of that session, you the person. So if you have like such people, your own personal life commitments, so having the right mindset, the balance is somewhere that we have to look at and seek help, seek consultation, whether it's a therapist or a mentor or a coach. We have to just be open. And I think, being vulnerable is one thing that we all struggle with, right? Because, we don't want to show our vulnerabilities to the world. But I think that we become authentic when we show that, okay, I have this blind spot, and I'm seeking help for that. That is when we're authentic. And we don't, as therapists, we want to be authentic, because when we're authentic, we can build authenticity in our clients. So thank you so much for this wonderful session. Thank you for the audience who were very participative, Ms. Dinakara, as usual, all the other audience members. Okay, and thank you, Ms. Sunanda, for this amazing your organization skills and having a session. We put a feedback link in the chat box. We would like to have your feedback, a very constructive, honest feedback from all of you. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
One hats off to you, Mahalakshmi.
Thank
Though
you,
I'm not
sir.
having a hat, hats off to you.
Thank you,
Great.
sir.
Great. Very nice presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll share that number to you on the mail.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.